it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Because when it comes to doing something, it's not that people demand gratitude, it's that they don't expect that you should treat them as if what they did is meaningless. This post says, when she says as you should. Let's look at the comments, let's talk about it.
Let me get the door for you.
As you should.
What?
As you should.
No, thank you?
Thank you for what?
You know what? Nothing.
What? I'm gonna have to take a Uber.
As you should. Let me get the door.
So he says, let me get the door. She says, as you should, and it throws his whole mood off. Now, I'm sure some of the ladies probably in the background saying, oh, he a sassy man. He's not a real man. My father would have did this. And all I'm thinking is, ladies, when did you become so just bitter? Like, I ain't even gonna lie. Like, you know, like, love is a beautiful thing. Relationships are a nice thing, but like, you know, when you interpret these social politics and apply them in the real world, it makes people just look at you all kinds of ways. Now then, let's see what the first comment says. It says he could have just opened the door, she would have gotten in and smiled. Instead, he said what he was doing because because I think there was supposed to be a he there. He wanted the recognition for bare minimum. So just being a good person is the bare minimum. And you know, that statement. I'm finished. All right, let's finish reading it. Actually, now I'll comment. I'll make a comment about it. Something he should be doing anyways. So when she responded out loud as well, as you should. And so it seems people don't get it, that the way you come off is someone who treats somebody as if they're beneath you. You see, I get it. You know, when like women, the modern women interpreting history, I often sees a particular kind of man that she doesn't like, and when she goes out into the world, she may see a particular man she does not like, somebody who wants to control, subjugate her, and she interprets that into her politics, into her daily life. But when you're interacting with a singular person who knows you for a limited amount of time and is wanting to move close, you know, like get intimate when it comes to just like pair bonding, it just comes off weird to interpret that lens through like onto him, who is independent of you, your history, the world's history, like thousands of years. This is just one guy, and he's just living his life in the modern era as you are. He was born in the age where you had rights, and you were born in the same age when you grew up with the same rights that you were given. And so it's weird, it's strange how they will do this. But nevertheless, let's keep reading. If you take small things for granted, you'll take larger things for granted. That is true. Let's see. Another comment says, saw a guy at college campus pick up a girl's books that she dropped, and she said, as you should. I watched him throw it like a frisbee into the bushes. Let's see. That hey, people may have a visceral reaction because like, it's weird how they will interpret chivalrous actions as a must or the bottom line expectation, when that doesn't mean that chivalrous actions should be directed toward you. Chivalry directed toward you exclusively, you know? Because he's not pursuing, again, like I think we look at people, we look at situations like this through the lens of gender politics and forget that these are just two people. And it's like, when one is looking at this through the wider range of human history and politics, and the other is just looking at this like, I love this girl and I wanna be my best self around her. It is different mindsets. Let's see. We have to be grateful, ladies. He is choosing to be a gentleman for you, and that is beautiful. Do not take small actions for granted ever. I love basically exactly what I'm saying. Shout out to this commenter, because she gets it. Like, yes, men have an expectation to be a particular type of person for a woman, or for women in general, but it's not about every woman, it's about you two. And so let's see. Last comment says, ladies saying I shouldn't have to say thank you for the bare minimum, saying thank you is the bare minimum, and you can't even do that. No, we'll be one more. Ladies, you will be enraged if you cook for your man and he said as you should. So yeah, so naturally going take for tat is not worth it. It seems like the majority of the comment section are generally the idea that, yeah, you need to, like, this attitude, whatever this is, keep that in your TikToks, keep that on your Twitters, now X, keep that on your YouTube, whatever, keep that in social media. When you go into the real world, the way you act matters, and how people interpret you is not through lens of history or your gender, it's through the way you treat people. Now then, this leads us to the text, because I tell you, when it comes to a troublesome woman, a woman who is argumentative, it is fascinating how the wisest man on the planet of his age before Jesus Christ had to write down that it's better to keep some distance from a very argumentative, debatey type of woman. 3 times. 3 times this man Solomon in the book of Proverbs had to write this. You don't believe me? Well, let's read every single last one of them. Proverbs 21 verse 9. Stop if you've heard this one. It's better to live in the corner of a housetop than in a house shared with a quarrelsome housewife. Lily said it's better to be on the roof in the same room as that woman. Proverbs 21 verse 19. So the same chapter 10 verses down. It is better to live in a desert land than with a quarrelsome and fretful woman. It is better to be literally in barren nowhere than to be with and around a woman who is always argumentative, debative, and fretful seems to suggest questioning and doubtful. So a woman who questions your very capabilities always and is doubtful of the future with you. So essentially, better to be alone, literally without resources, left for dead in a desert, than to be with a person like this. And the third one, yes, he wrote it 3 times. Proverbs chapter 25 verse 24. It is better to live in a corner of a housetop than in a house shared with a quarrelsome housewife. Well, minus the house. In a house shared with a quarrelsome wife. Ladies, if it wasn't a problem, he wouldn't have wrote it 3 times. I'll tell you that much. Man has so much wisdom that he said, they did not hear me. They did not hear me. They did not hear me. And why is that? Well, because naturally, every human being has their limits. And it's not about getting into arguments and escalation. It's about what is peace and what is harmony. If you're constantly backbiting, if you're constantly accusatory, if you're constantly just debating, angry, not willing to talk things out and come to a resolution, then it'll just wear people down. It literally kills people, for what I hear. I'm pretty sure it's done a study that some men actually live like their lifespans are shortened because they're so stressed out by a woman. If anything, like, even if that wasn't a clear statistic, I mean, I think it's very clear that individuals end up in terrible situations because they live with chaotic women, right? Arguments between men that escalated into violence. Someone died, someone ended up in jail. Toxic relationships where you're just willing to just try to argue a man down, and he's like he feels his masculinity is attacked. It's just not good to be at odds with each other. And so naturally, it's no surprise that he says separate, just don't be around it. Go take a walk, lead a situation. Yes, she may think, you go just walk out on me. Yes, he needs to walk. The Bible literally said it's better to walk away from that situation. Give yourself some time to think than to be there in the heat of the moment arguing back and forth. If anything, James actually talks a bit about the root of what causes these things. Like, why are you so argumentative? Why are you so debating and just willing to go to bat at each other? Well, James chapter 4 verses 1 through 3 makes it clear that, given the title, it's about worldliness, and so naturally, infighting, the idea of just fighting for the sake of fighting, is worldly, not godly, aka holy. But let's keep going. starting at verse 1, it says, what causes quarrels and what causes fights among you? Quarrels, what causes you to divide and want to battle it out? Is it not this, that your passions, so let's look at the footnote, pleasures, meaning what you like, your selfish desires, right? That your passions are at war within you. Basically, is there not something deeper to this issue that comes from the heart? You desire and do not have, so you murder. So in other words, you strongly want something and yet don't have it. So you essentially, well, want to take it from somebody else. Like see your fellow countrymen as something to just take from. You covet and cannot obtain. You fight and quarrel. You do not have because you do not ask. You ask and do not receive because you ask wrongly to spend it on your passions. When a selfish person is selfishly wanting to seek for themselves, problems come. And so naturally, what is the antidote? Well, Paul in Philippians comes around and tells us in chapter 2, verse 3, do nothing with selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. Keep that last bit, counting others more significant than yourselves. It's not about you. It's not about just you alone. It's about what brought you together and what keeps you getting strongly closer. I can't stress. I can't help but just put my fingers together like this, because you want to grow closer. You need to lock arms and you need to put away all this like modern culture business and say it's not about them and their argument about the sexes and politics. It's about just us two, because when all of that is going down, let's just say when it's about you two, they don't care about that, right? They only care about like the individual, when the individual can be used as an excuse to hype up whatever movement or talking point. But let me tell you, people aren't talking points. You gotta still come home, and you gotta still put food on the table. You gotta still, live your life. And so remember that, because the whole point of this is to remind you of this principal point in Romans chapter 12, verses 9 and 10. Let love be genuine. Period. Just flat out. Just let it be genuine. Let it be sincere. Let it be real. Abhor what is evil. Meaning, hate what is deceitful and wrong. Don't take pleasure in it. Don't want to flirt around with it. Don't try to mix it. Do only what is genuine and sincere, because you mask yourself in all this, and people cannot see you for who you are because you want to cosplay as somebody else. You want to cosplay an activist. You want to cosplay some sort of revolutionary. You want to cosplay a feminist. You want to cosplay these other things. And I'm saying this in the context of your relationship with a person. Is if that's who you are out there in the streets, that's all cool, boy. It's time to come home and lay your head on the pillow next to your significant other. Don't bring that nonsense into your relationships. Bring Jesus into your relationships, because he's teaching you wisdom here. And it says, hold fast to what is good. Love one another with brotherly affection. Outdo one another in showing honor. I love that. Outdo one another. You want to compete? Well, it's time to compete the right way. Compete for the sake of venerating your significant other, lifting somebody up. You know what? You want to compete so bad. You want to fight about it. Let's fight the right way. Let's fight the honorable way. And let's fight the only way we know how to, which should be to love one another. Because all these divisions, everyone's always going to argue about something. But who's going to bring the resolution? And I tell you, it's getting harder, like, for people, because they're getting lost in the sauce. Either way, what do you guys think? You think I hit the nail on the head? Do you think, nah, men have a lot to answer to, and women, they're not like the women of 1942. Like, they're all OnlyFans models. Like, we need to stop this. Either way, I'm just gonna say, let the Bible speak. Let Jesus speak. Let the word speak. Because I tell you this much, whenever that man talked, heads would turn and hearts would convert. But with that being said, appreciate you for listening to this. God bless you, and I hope you were blessed by this video. Take care, and see you guys in the next one.